ending, and we're going to interview these two gentlemen. That's Mr. Michael McDonald and his incredible rendition of Lonely Teardrops. I am Rick Godley. It is a Monday. It's a Mike Stone Monday. Mike will be here from 10 till noon Mondays and Wednesdays. And in the studio, because we just fired up the streams, we are going to be talking about an event that I know is 11 years young and Memorial Day weekend coming upon us. Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. Run for the red, white, and blue. The gentleman to my right on screen, to your left, Mr. Joe Lane, no stranger, and David Worthington. So, gentlemen, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Rick. We're glad to be here.
All right, so before we get into the details, I said, how are you? You and I, too, have been chasing each other around from radio station to radio station, and you have been so faithful, even to coming here to this confine. But then Joe reminded me, he said, Rick, we were in that bike shop. I said, oh, that's right.
We've had to hunt you down, but we've done this. This is our 11th annual, and you've been with us virtually all of them, and we don't take that for granted. We appreciate very much because I know what you think of museums, and I know what you think of the Chennault Museum, and we just appreciate the caring and kind of the giving heart that you have in this community.
You're welcome on that. There's no problem. Give the elevator speech on what the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum is, because I've been there with Nell Calloway during the lean years, and every day is a new day to grow and make more people aware of it, and you seem to be doing that. So talk about, David, what is the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum?
Well, I think it's one of the finest, and it's been called one of the best kept secrets of Northeast Louisiana, but it's no longer a secret.
Right.
It's been well known, and it's growing as a museum. The artifacts, the memories, the pictures, the various military equipment items, and there's so much there inside and outside. Now that they have the military park that is outside the buildings, that houses so many wonderful parts of just military service to our country, and I like the expression that someone said many years ago, that it's sad to have lived and not be remembered. But and yet they remember, and they make a point of, just calling attention to our veterans, those that are living and those that are no longer living.
Well, of all the days, this Memorial Day, Decoration Day, is a little bit more solemn and somber than I would dare say a Veterans Day, or what we just had, Armed Forces Day, a time for celebration.
Yes, sir.
Who wants to jump on that one just to do a quick educational lesson on what is Memorial Day besides? That way folks will have maybe a little bit more reflective on the barbecue and the cookouts and all that. Joe, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, Rick, there's two things, but I'll concentrate on just what you asked about. This is a 5K walk run. It's a 1K walk, and so we'll talk about that aspect of it in just a minute. But the other part of this is, and this is why we don't call it a race, we call it an event. The other part of it is, Dave and I, when we started this 11 years ago, we wanted. This is a Memorial Day observance. This is a Memorial Day. Memorial Day to me is the day that we can honor America. We should always honor America. But this is that special day that is set aside to honor our servicemen and women, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And the freedoms that we enjoy were given to us, or to a great extent, by those folks that have served, especially again those that have paid the ultimate price. So we have patriotic music. We have the posting of the colors. We have the recognition of the different branches of the service. We have an observant event that goes on, at our walk run, and we finish it up with taps. And I don't think I've ever finished taps where I
can get moist eyes just thinking about it.
Where I was not crying when it's done. So we want to have a great time. We want to have a fun time. We want people to exercise. We want people to just enjoy it. But we also want folks to come out and say, hey, look, this is a unique time that we can come out. We can honor America, and we can honor especially those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Then we can go out. We can do the barbecues. We can do the go out and get all the good deals and all those other things, which is great. But this gives people that special opportunity to do something that they'll feel really good about when they do so.
It is a morning event. It is a 5K run. You don't have to run. You could walk in. I do believe you could. A virtual walk, is that, or I think I just got a medal, but I have to pay the registration.
There are several ways you can do it. There's the 5K walk and run, and there are elite runners. This is a great course for elite runners. Mm-hmm. There's also a 1K walk, which is 0.6 of a mile. But this is a great course for families. If you haven't done anything more than walk out to the mailbox, but you want to get your family together, and let's come out and let's do something different. Come out and do that short walk with us. Mm-hmm. We'll have people as young as 6 that will be on the course. We'll have people as old as late 80s that will be on the course, and everybody's having a good time. Some people are seriously running. Mm-hmm. Some people are just enjoying I'm telling you, it's a happening place. You haven't seen that many flags anywhere in a long time. The patriotic music, the people, just the buzz. Like I say, we started with the firing of a cannon. I mean, it's a real cannon. It's real loud. And it just kind of sets the stage for what we're going to be doing.
Chennault Aviation and Military Museum is 701 Kansas Lane in Monroe. Mm-hmm. Joe Lane, David Worthington, our guest. I'm going to pivot now to the story. I like the coincidences of life, the synchronicities of life. And I'm referring to the gentleman who was, because both of you are Vietnam veterans, mm-hmm. and this gentleman, I think, flew a spotter plane, and he had to go over enemy territory, and he's from St. Joseph Parish.
Yeah.
Am I making this right? And so, as the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum, we're gathering artifacts, and I don't know what kind of plane this is. It's a small one. That is the literal plane that he flew in Vietnam. Am I off base?
No, you're not. But you remember with memories. He flew this. It was a Corsair, I think, A7. I may be wrong there.
Okay.
So if you know your planes, but it flew off the Midway, and doing strikes into Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And they do a plane restoration out at the Chennault
right.
Museum. They have a hangar where they restore planes, and it's going to be a part of our aviation park. And this guy, Sonny Kiefer, drove by there one day, and he was looking at that particular plane because he had flown, that in Vietnam. He happened to look at the call numbers, and I'm not making this up. He looked at
you're corroborating what I thought I made up.
He's looking at the serial number on that plane, and he still had his logs. He went back and checked his logs, and he flew that plane off the Midway in Vietnam. And so as a result of that, when they finished that plane, finished the restoration of that plane, he and about 6 or 7 other guys from throughout the United States flew into Monroe, and we had a dedication of that plane with 6 or 7 guys that had sat in the cockpit of that plane, which is just unbelievable, but true.
Well, and you talked about remembrance. I mean, this is an opportunity for remembrance, not only for one, but for the comrades, but also for the community. And all of the proceeds for this Saturday's 5K fun run and walk, if you're so led, will go to sustaining the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. Because Joe and David, it's not government funded. It depends on the kindness of strangers as well, and they don't charge for anybody to go admission.
You're exactly right. The museum is free. And you can walk in, and they're closed on Mondays, but they're open the remainder of the weeks and the days of the week. And just the very fact that, yet they have ongoing expenses.
Right.
And this fundraiser has been a very helpful tool for them through the years.
All right, so let's get specific to the event. If you want more of this, go to the Facebook page, Chennault Aviation and Military Museum, and then these two guys are in go mode because this is the week of the race. So all the details. Why don't you get the details out, Joe? Tell them what they can expect when they wake up Saturday. And by the way, it's early enough for you to enjoy this event as well as your family events, or even the Bonnie and Clyde Festival is happening in Gippsland this Saturday.
Well, first of all, someone may be saying, okay, now how do I get involved in this? Probably the easiest way for a lot of your listeners, Rick, go to the Chennault Aviation and Military Museum. You can go to the their web page. Just scroll down the web page, click Run for the Red, White, and Blue, and you can register online. If you happen to be in Monroe this week and want to go by the museum and just register in person, you can do that as well. If both things fail and on Friday you say, I need to do this, this is something I and my family need to do, just come out to the museum on Saturday morning. I would encourage you to come out early. We have over 500 folks that have already registered for this event. We're looking.
Is that a record?
It's not yet, but if
it's
things
moving that way.
But it's
Wow.
it's a record number for this time prior to the event. And with the wonderful weather we're supposed to have, we are certainly expecting this to be a record year. And a record year is important to us because that means a lot of people have come out. And of course, when you're out there, you can tour the museum as well as take part in the event itself. But again, get there early. Register if you haven't already done so. At 8 o'clock, I'll mention again, we have the firing of the cannon. You can do the longer 5K walk or run. You can do the shorter 1K. You finish up through the Flags of Freedom, and I'm going to ask David to talk about that in just a moment, if you don't mind, Rick. But we after we get through with the walk run, there's always time that's there before results and everything happen. So that's when we have the Memorial Day observance. We have a great color guard that will get that started off. We've got some ladies that are doing the patriotic music. Their group is just wonderful. Recognition of
Is that Rhonda Black?
Not Rhonda Black.
Yeah, no? Okay.
But
they do the Andrews sisters pretty good.
Actually, I think you're right.
I think I've been right most of this interview, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
You've been right most of your life, Rick. But we're not going to get into that.
No.
But they are. You're right. They're a wonderful group, and so we've just got a lot of buzz. We've got a lot of excitement. But like I say, and so the event part of it, and I said we finish that up with the playing of taps. So it is a great 2 hours, 8 to 10 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, you're done. You're feeling good about yourself. Matter of fact, you have a wonderful finisher's medal. Everybody that comes across gets a custom finisher's medal that we do, and dog tag medal. So it's really great. But Rick, can David go ahead and talk a little bit about the Flags of Freedom?
You talk about it. I'll show it.
The last half a mile, quarter of a mile, both sides of the road are lined with United States flags. And those flags have been flown at our local American Legion. We've, as they change flags every year, we take the older flags and we bring them to the museum and fly. And if you've ever been to the airport or to the museum, you know how windy it is out there. And it is so awesome to see all of those flags just fully unfurled, blowing in the wind. And these runners, they express themselves when they get through. They come down, they said there's nothing like hitting that last quarter of a mile.
if you don't get chills down your spine, make an appointment to see your physician.
Right.
I'm telling you, a big, huge American flag is over the finish line as well. That patriotic music is playing. Those flags are blowing in the breeze, and you're walking and running through them. It's a wonderful, inspirational few moments.
Well, David, I'm sorry you didn't bring your folk guitar so you can lead us in a rendition of Blowing in the Wind.
You wouldn't want to hear that.
No, we wouldn't. Okay, so gentlemen, I think we covered it pretty good for you. Anything else you need to say before we kill the stream?
We thank you, Rick, for your support.
Oh,
That's the thing we do want to say. I mean, we take